Okay, sourdough bread, garbage. Yep, you'll have some glyphosate, not a ton, it's whatever. Yet, carbs and fats mixed together, your Randle cycle's upregulated. Of course, the carbs are high in deuterium to hurt your mitochondria, that's always good. Have some glycation. Have some potent plant toxins in the leaves, such as oxalates. You have some lectins in this meal. A small tad of sulforaphane. Okay, it's a deficient, bad meal. Okay, that's the first thing I see. Healthy on what basis? The fact it's anti-nutrient. It blocks around 30% of enzymatic nutrient absorption. Because we can't digest it, it's literally blocking your enzymes. And this is quite sensible. I mean, Robert Lustig already proved this. That's why, your blood sugar spike is less with fiber. It's blocking the absorption of macronutrients as well. It's not required for a single bodily process. The best study we have, you remove people who have digestive issues, you remove all the fiber, all of their issues are cured. Very clinically significant. That's the most controlled trial we have on fiber. So it's healthy. Why? Oh, the butyrate, the small amount of butyrate it ferments into. Never mind the aldehydes it ferments into, though. Don't forget about those, which tear cell membranes to pieces, destroy lipid rafts. Those are good for you. Yeah, okay. No argument.
No one has ever gotten fat from eating too much fruit. It
False. Actually happened to someone in my school, actually.
just doesn't happen. I don't care how much sugar there is in fruit. There is no way you are going to be overeating fruit, and it's going to lead to you gaining weight. If you are gaining weight and you're eating fruit, it is likely because of something else you are eating in your diet.
Well, considering fruit is completely destitute of essential nutrition, you'll have to be eating something else with the fruit. So what's your point?
I want you to think about how much fruit you would have to eat to overeat your calories and gain weight.
You don't consume calories, Jacob.
If the majority of what you're eating is fruit, hypothetically, obviously you don't want to just eat fruit, but
Oh, so there's your argument done.
say you were only eating bananas and apples.
Okay, so let's say you went fruitarian. Okay, so you'd only have vitamin C essentially. You'd have no dietary fat, very little dietary protein. Then you would start eating yourself because you're eating only sugar and fiber. Yeah, no shit, you wouldn't get fat, but you'd be killing yourself, wouldn't you?
How many bananas and apples would you have to eat to be able to gain weight? Well, if each one has
So if you went is this guy a fucking idiot?
100, 150 calories on
They don't have any calories until combusted in a closed system, buddy.
average, you're going to be eating what, 20 pieces of fruit? How do you think you would feel after eating 20 pieces of fruit? Think of
Yeah, fruitarians lose weight. The point is they're destitute of nutrition. Fruit is. You'd have to be eating other things to survive long term. And of course, if you do go on an only fruit diet, the amount of glycation, deuterium toxicity you will endure, the amount of fat you'll have in your liver, that is very concerning. Do not do that.
just how much volume 20 pieces of fruit
Yeah, it's mostly fiber, which is not indicated, and sugar, which is not indicated. Yeah.
is in your stomach, and how much
Yep, you'd fill yourself up. Dude, if you eat a lot of sawdust, which is fiber, dude, you'll just be full, man. Just eat a lot of sawdust. It's fiber. It's great for you.
fiber is in those fruit that will be slowing down your digestion
Yes, exactly. It's an anti-nutrient. Yes.
and making you feel fuller for
Yes, exactly. It's not indicated for proper hunger signaling.
longer. There is a reason fruits, despite being kind of high in sugar, are health promoting and help you lose weight.
False.
It is because
Actually, fructose upregulates ghrelin and blocks leptin directly. Then the insulin spike you get from not a spike, but bump from the glucose also blocks leptin, which is your hunger satiety hormone. Ghrelin, again, is the hormone that makes you hungry, like MK677 upregulates ghrelin. That's why they eat, a ton of food. Fruit has always been used, specifically fructose, in nature to gain weight. Great apes do it. We do it. Bears did it. There's even fish in the Amazon that jump out of the river to eat fruit, to eat berries, to put on fat for the winter, for 2 weeks of the year. Fructose is nature's Randle cycle upregulator. So you eat the meat, you eat the fruit. Okay, our Randle cycle is activated. Our hunger signaling hormones are more upregulated. We're going to store fat for when times are more scarce. This is common anthropology. Fruits are seasonal. Fucking idiot.
they are high in fiber,
That's not good.
they are not high calorie,
That's false. They have no calories.
they are hard to overeat, they are usually pretty nutrient dense.
Of what nutrients? Vitamin C? Which, by the way, excess goes to oxalates. Why was there a negative selection pressure for us to not create our own vitamin C, Jacob?
And they are absolutely diet foods.
False.
No one has ever gotten...
Horrible TikTok. Wow. Please address the deuterium in the fruit also, Jacob, and the fructose, by the way, which neither are essential. Well, you need a certain amount of deuterium, not 150 parts per million. It really degrades the nanomotors, the extra neutron in high deuterium foods, the heavy water.
You have fallen for health influencer propaganda if you believe any of these 5 things. 1. Seed oils are unhealthy, lead to inflammation, heart disease, obesity, whatever.
No one can make any cause and effect statements on any of those claims. He's right in that regard. But let's look at seed oils, okay? Destitute of nutrition. They don't have the fat-soluble vitamins like animal fat. They're very high in deuterium. Some of them can be up to, 270 parts per million of deuterium. Twice what we're adapted to from animal fat. Okay, you're going to completely destroy the nanomotors in your mitochondria. Case closed. A lot of them, if you look into some earlier literature in the 80s, there's a lot of good studies on the aldehydes produced by seed oil consumption. Again, they're double bonded. They're very prone to lipid peroxidation. They seem to oxidize LDL. That doesn't seem to be a good thing. You basically have rusted LDL. That doesn't seem to be too good. Destitute of micronutrients. All you have is associative studies. They don't report on cause and effect. They're pieces of shit. Form your opinion by looking at generally what they are. Okay, destitute of micronutrients, high in deuterium, unstable, oxidized LDL, modern industrial oil. That's what seed oils are. They're double bonded. Case closed.
This is just not backed by the research, and the entire narrative around seed oils is just backed by a big composition fallacy. People believe that since specific components in seed oils can be part of inflammatory processes,
forget inflammation, throw it out the window.
In the body, that therefore if you eat seed oils, it leads to...
Nope, throw that out the window. Let's focus on the deuterium and the destitute nutrition.
Inflammation, but that is just not true when you look at the actual data.
There's no data that could even report on that, Jacob, still.
2, that carbs make you fat. It is not carbs or fat that...
They cannot make you fat. They could contribute to fattening, though, for sure, through a few mechanisms.
Make you fat. It is how many calories you're eating.
False. You don't eat calories, imbecile.
It might be easier to overeat processed carbs. But
It's easy to overeat any carbs just due to how insulin blocks leptin, the addictive inherent nature, because they're a signal to literally eat as much as you can, ancestrally and anthropologically. That's the point of carbs, still.
But if you're eating whole foods that contain lots of fiber and complex carbs, it's going to be harder to overeat those because they are more filling.
Yes, you'll fill up your stomach with fiber, which is indigestible plant matter, which is destitute of nutrition for no reason. In the best clinical study we have, it seems best to not have any fiber in the diet. And they're an anti-nutrient. Okay, good.
Carbs are an essential part of your diet.
False. Look in any physiology textbook. The requirement for carbs in the diet is 0.
3, that butter should be eaten as a snack and that it's healthy for you to do so. Saturated fats are fine to eat in moderation, especially if you're an active person.
What's moderation?
With a generally healthy lifestyle. But it probably is not optimal to...
Probably, so it could not be, okay.
Increase your intake to extreme amounts.
Why not? Why? One reason. Saturated fats and animal fats in general have vitamin A, D, E, K2, EPA, DHA. EPA and DHA are the omega-3s you actually want in larger amounts than ALA. They're only in animal foods. Okay, animal fats are the lowest in deuterium, the most stable to oxidize. They're the nutritious, is what we're biologically adapted to. The stable isotope analysis already proves this. What's left? Grass-fed beef, the fat is at 115 parts per million of deuterium. And then you'll start creating your own metabolic water at a perfect deuterium level. What else are you going to eat to oxidize, Jacob? Are you going to upregulate your Randle cycle with lots of carbs and plant oils? High deuterium Randle cycle activation? It's foolish.
You can gain fat in a calorie deficit.
Calorie deficits do not exist still. And besides, we should care about body composition anyway, which that is determined by how much protein and fat you're eating and how much carbs you're eating. By the way, eat a lot of protein and fat. You'll have really good body comp.
You want to eat or decrease how much you burn, you are still bound to the laws of physics. Fat,
which don't apply to open systems, genius.
Fat gain or loss is still a function of how many
false
calories you are eating and burning. 5, that vegetables are bad for you. Some vegetables do contain anti-nutrients that may bind up specific minerals and stop them from being absorbed, but you're
they do a lot more than that, buddy.
Still getting a net positive amount of nutrients from eating them.
Yeah, so let's address, let's say oxalates, for example. My concern is actually the oxalates that aren't binding to, let's say, the calcium in spinach. okay, 80% bind to that calcium in the spinach and render it unusable. Yes, spinach is a piece of shit for that reason. My issue is actually with the 20% of the oxalates that aren't binding to what's in the spinach. Those are going to cause the issues because those can get into your thyroid, into your brain. Oxalates can make you go blind by binding to your retina. That's a very big concern. I think it's 85% of people 30 or older have oxalate crystals in the thyroid. Okay? This can cause autoimmunity, which is why so many people, like Paul Saladino, he originally cured his autoimmunity by going on carnivore. There's just no reason to put these toxins in your body for no reason, Jacob. Why? Why isn't this occurred to you? There's nothing you need from plants. Nothing.
Along with those nutrients, you're also getting a lot of fiber.
We don't want that.
And tons of antioxidant.
Antioxidants, all from grass-fed meat and grounding. Thank you.
Anti-inflammatory phytochemicals that you just
unproven.
Can't get from other foods.
False. Actually, phytochemicals are also in grass-fed beef. Fail again.
When navigating misinformation,
wow, what an utter fail of a video. Absolute failure.
You will often find that it deals with extremes, that you should entirely cut out certain foods.
Yes, an animal has a species-specific diet, which they are adapted to eating. A cow is very adapted to eating grass. A koala is adapted to eating eucalyptus. Humans are adapted to eating meat. Ruminant animals, the flesh and fat of ruminant animals. This is unequivocal based on the stabilized SOAP analysis. Look at our physiology, our stomach acid being scavenger level, by the way. Far below that of a pig or a chicken, which is more omnivorous. It's that of a wolf, essentially.
Foods or start eating a ton of other foods, when in reality you are probably best off to have a diverse diet.
Probably, so it could not be, and diverse based on what?
With lots of different types of foods.
What would the reasoning be for that? No other animal eats a diverse diet. Where'd that idea come from? What underpins it?
You have fallen.
Wow, that was a bad video. Whew. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Anyone who says fruits are bad for you gets blocked. Like, what do you mean? That's a really good argument for why they're good for you. Okay. The average human diet had 0 carbs until about 6-7 years ago. This is pretty correct. A bit further behind 6 years ago, but remember that time the Irish ran out of potatoes and everyone died? Okay, and look at any textbook, Jacob. You need no carbs in the diet. Fact. Gluconeogenesis provides all the carbohydrate you need, primarily from triglyceride backbones like glycerol. Perfect. It's a waste product. You have the 3 fatty acids. Those are used. Then you have this backbone, glycerol. It's useless. It can be converted into glucose. And gluconeogenesis keeps your blood sugar at a perfect level to not cause lots of glycation, like eating exogenous carbs does. Yeah, just done. Just an imbecile.
When you look at the evidence, they just aren't bad. They're
what evidence?
Literally leading to better health outcomes.
False. That's again another cause and effect inference. You can't make that. Just can't make that claim. It's epidemiology.
My name is Peyton Nelson, and I'm studying food and nutrition at the same university he graduated at.
No offense, but you're in the middle of your undergrad at the university.
Just garbage appeal to authority. Just nonsense.
Where I got both my bachelor's and
nope, just garbage pieces of paper with symbols on them that mean nothing.
And my master's degree in nutrition and dietetics.
Let me explain this as concisely and scientifically sound as possible.
Let's
Seed
hear
oils
this.
are rich in polyunsaturated fats, which
True.
are not intrinsically bad, but are chemically unstable.
True.
During high heat processing and cooking, they are prone to oxidation.
True.
This creates oxidized lipids, which
True.
generate reactive oxygen species.
This
True.
is true. When they're repeatedly heated
True,
to
true,
high
true.
temperatures, like during deep frying, the quality gets worse. But is that really the fault of the seed oil, or is that more just using it improperly?
Well, considering they oxidize on the shelf to high extents, and considering that we have plenty of pro-oxidants in our body that will oxidize them once they're in our tissues, seems best not to eat the industrial oil outside of the food matrix.
If your entire argument against seed oils is that you shouldn't be eating a ton of deep fried food, then congrats, you're on the same page as everyone else.
But it's not even about the food, it's about the oil itself, because fuck the food. Okay, that's a piece of shit as well, obviously. The fried oil is the issue, though.
While your body's antioxidant system can neutralize some of it, a diet high in oxidized oils leads to a net increase in oxidative stress.
Be careful with these statements, though we can infer this is true.
And again, eating deep fried food every day is unhealthy, but no one's saying you should be doing that.
Over time, this contributes to chronic inflammation, which is the primary driver of conditions like...
My main issue with the seed oils is firstly them being integrated into your cell membranes and being easily oxidized by the sun. which there's a very good theory as to why this would cause sunburn, and for aesthetics and health, that's deleterious. Stay away from that. The polyunsaturated fatty acids being outside of the food matrix, being in the oil form, not actually like in a chicken, it is also interacting quite differently, it seems. And then another big issue I have with is the deuterium content of these oils. Again, they're unstable as well to oxidize. And again, the deuterium, when we are oxidizing a PUFA in this liquid form, the high deuterium, again, that's, damaging the nanomotor of your mitochondria. The heaviness, it's not ideal. It can be up to 280 ppm deuterium, the seed oils. So far from to what's optimal. It's just undefendable, the deuterium content of them. That's a slam dunk in my mind. Just boom.
Heart disease, diabetes,
yeah,
and neurodegenerative disorders.
Is it the seed oils that are doing that, or is it the obesity that's caused by eating ultra-processed foods all the time that's doing that?
I included all the citations.
Yeah, that's the issue with associations. We have just nothing we can. This is all theory.
Below, but be careful including these fats in your diet. They're not as healthy as they're made out to be.
All right, here's the real meat and potatoes. I'll go through these studies one by one, fast.
Okay.
This first study does not.
Let's see what it is.
Not exist. The PMID takes you to a different study
Yeah, he used ChatGPT to find studies, looks like. Yeah, it's just a piece of shit.
that talks about the size of animals and their metabolism, not seed oils. This study on frying oils doesn't mention the word frying once. What it does say is there's something called tocopherol, which is an antioxidant that helps prevent oxidative stress in oils, and that the oils highest in tocopherol are seed oils. This study...
Again, mechanistic theory, again, the main thing you need to address is the fact that you can have, all this vitamin E, which will have to fight hard against this oxidation, and daily consumption of these oils, it seems that your vitamin E reserves are just tanked. Again, you'd have to address the deuterium, Jacob. Until then, it's just what's left.
Doesn't exist. Both of these studies focus on something called 4-HNE, which is a byproduct of lipid peroxidation, and they say that it can either lead to improved cell survival or cell death, depending on how much is present. But neither of these are actual outcome studies, and I'll explain what I mean by that in a
Well, none of those exist at all for anything, so.
minute. This study is just on antioxidants and free radicals in general, and it's not fair to extrapolate it to seed oils. This one found that smoking, diabetes, and obesity led to more oxidative stress, which, again, no duh, but it's not seed oils. This study also doesn't exist, except for in his Instagram. Okay.
There's a lot of good studies from the 80s showing how seed oils oxidize LDL. It's actually, I believe it's pretty unassailable. The inference can be made.
Options. And all of these studies say that inflammation is
Wow, so many you listed. Don't try to link them to heart disease. See, that's the claim that's hard to make.
involved in chronic disease, which is, again, not new information. Whenever you're trying to look into something that's been studied hundreds or even thousands of times, there are certain types of research that you should look at, and these are called outcome studies.
Those don't exist.
And this is why. Because you might look at these smaller studies and think, well, certain oils are more unstable, which can lead to oxidative stress, which can cause inflammation.
Yeah, the mechanistic speculation. The issue is when every mechanism of something is shit. Okay? We don't have an experiment on eating lead in humans. We control them in labs, and one eats lead and one eats meat. We don't have that. Now, if you look at the mechanisms of lead, you can then make a pretty educated inference, hey, you probably shouldn't eat lead. And that's what we see with the industrial seed oils. We see high deuterium content, lipid peroxidation, they're very prone to that, destitute of the fat-soluble vitamins. It's not what we're adapted to eating, which is saturated fat. It doesn't have vitamin A, D3, or K2. Case closed. It has lots of ALA, some of them. Again, the conversion rate to DHA and EPA, that's very minimal.
Which can then cause...
Just look at them. Do they have the nutrition you need? No. Are they what you're adapted to eat? No. Are they high in deuterium? Yes. Why? Okay, why eat them? I would just need a reason to eat them.
chronic disease, so therefore seed oils must be causing chronic disease.
Forget about this. He shouldn't even have ventured into all this.
But this is missing the forest for the trees, because we can look at what actually happens when people eat seed oil.
False, we cannot. Oh my god.
Because we have hundreds of human outcome studies.
Wow! Wow, you really listed them off there, didn't you?
So therefore, seed oils must be causing chronic disease. But this is missing the forest for the trees, because we can look at what actually happens when
That's
people
hilarious.
eat seed oils. Because we have hundreds of human outcome studies.
Wow, look at all those. This is the funniest thing. I couldn't have asked for something more perfect. Exactly, Jacob. We have none, don't we? Fucking idiot. Good job.
And when we look at the
Fucking
actual
imbecile.
human outcome data, we find that the unsaturated fats in seed oils do not lead
Outcome data. Okay, so people self-reporting what they ate. Already done. Already in the grave. Oh, associations. Already done. In the grave. Try again, buddy.
to increased inflammation in
Associated. Fucking idiot. That means just nothing. God, you're a fucking idiot, aren't you? My God.
any notable or significant way. That a lack of unsaturated fats in the diet might contribute
It might not. Fucking it. Oh my God, this guy is dumb. Jesus, bro. This guy's getting 500,000 views. Holy fuck, bro. Go back and do your degree again. Well, they probably taught you this bullshit, didn't they? Fucking idiot.
to heart disease development. That the fats in
It might. Just listen to yourself.
seed oils can be involved in inflammatory
Can and they cannot. Just nothing from this guy.
pathways, but they can also be involved in anti-inflammatory pathways. And that omega-6 unsaturated fat intake is associated
I mean, linoleic acid is an essential. We need it. And it's around, 2% of grass-fed beef. That's what would be adapted to, around 2%. But, seed oils can be up to 70% linoleic acid. It's not the nutritious part of beef. That's the saturated fat. That is the fat soluble vitamins. Monounsaturated fats from beef also seem to be anti-inflammatory. They seem to be good for you. The linoleic acid is essential in a very small quantity, though.
with less heart disease risk,
Associated, okay, shut the fuck up.
less inflammation,
Shut the fuck up.
and lower cholesterol.
And why would that be good? Oh, cholesterol, the thing you need to synthesize vitamin D, what all your cell membranes are made of. If you want to look at associations, people with higher cholesterol live longer. Fucking idiot.
So while it can be good to look at these smaller cellular mechanisms,
Like, really, give me a reason why lower cholesterol would be better. Like, seriously, one reason. Just one.
studies, you always have to place priority on actual human outcome studies.
Wow, you are a fucking idiot, buddy. My God. Take this guy's degree away.
There's a reason we have a hierarchy of evidence.
Oh, the self-defeating hierarchy of evidence. Expert opinions at the bottom. The hierarchy of evidence is an opinion. Fucking idiot.
And that
It already debunked itself.
randomized controlled trials, meta-analyses, and systematic
It's someone's opinion. Yeah, it's their opinion that those are at the top. Again, we don't actually have any real science on humans. We don't lock people in labs and control for all other variables. Still,
reviews are on top. And
wow. Thanks for showing that opinion, which says opinions are at the bottom. That's really funny.
look, when I was as far along in my degree as you are, I was against seed oils. I wouldn't eat anything that had them, and
Well, yeah, you seemed to get a bit dumber then, didn't you?
I was borderline carnivore. But
Oh, wow, you got really
my
dumb.
mind was changed when I actually looked into the research and
Wow, you looked into the correlations and it changed your mind. Wow, you are stupid.
stopped listening to people who are educating me on social media. So don't be afraid of seed oils. But if you care for your health, you should probably also not be eating a ton of ultra-processed or deep-fried foods.
Oh, wow, that's a really good statement.
When you look at the evidence,
Fucking idiot, this guy. Wow.
On the stage in my heels.
Eating only chicken, veggies, and fruit. The chicken is nutritious compared to the veggies and fruit. It's not the meat I would eat. I would go more with what we're adapted to eating, which would be something more like beef or lamb. Or elephant, actually. That's kind of the closest thing to a mammoth. Genetically is a mammoth, or is an elephant. Ideally, we'd eat those. Veggies, garbage. Fruit, garbage.
It's where I belong down at the Pony Club.
Yeah, you can be in good shape and be extremely unhealthy. Is this guy a moron? Okay, yeah, you eat more desserts. This guy's a fucking utter clown. Wow, this guy's an utter clown. Yeah, man. Wow, this guy sounds like aesthetics waiting. BMI is all that matters. Diet doesn't matter for health. It's just like... you actually get enough vitamin C from raw muscle meat, actually. You don't need to eat liver if you don't want to. And you don't need that many servings. And yeah, I would rather eat liver than an orange. It's far more nutritious. It has a proper level of deuterium compared to an orange. It doesn't have fructose like an orange. It doesn't have fiber like an orange. So yes, I'd prefer to eat liver than an orange, obviously. Just eat the freaking plant. It won't hurt you crying emoji. Another imbecile. Strawberries have too much sugar? Excuse me? Yeah, they do. Bell peppers are a nightshade. Don't do those. Yep, another brain dead post. You can't be in a calorie deficit still. Yeah, actually, it's good. Appeal to consensus fallacy. This guy is just full of. This guy is just full of fallacies. Yes, you just appealed to the consensus. That doesn't mean it's right. Every breakthrough in science actually has been against the consensus, by the way. People thought that smoking being unhealthy was crazy at first, by the way. Vegetables are good for you is a debated point what's happening in the world. People are getting educated on plant toxins and how destitute plants are of nutrition. Obviously. Colon cancer, again, that's just based on associations. That's not science. Get educated. Yep, our ancestors depict what we're adapted to. Yep, don't buy influencers like Beef Tallow. You don't need to do that. You can't be in a calorie deficit still. Please learn what photons of light are. Okay, you repeated the same thing. I think he doesn't like Paul Saladino. Again, appeal to consensus, another fallacy. Fucking idiot. Still don't exist. People eat lots of red meat and we're likely to get cancer. But by the way, there's a lot of new associative data that actually shows the opposite, by the way. This guy is actually kind of referring, he's making the claim indirectly that red meat is kind of falls under antagonistic pleiotropy, that it's good for getting to a mating age but then becomes unhealthy. That's like a common vegan thing you hear. Calories still inapplicable. 15 grams of protein is nothing. Okay. Glycation, good job. Just fucking idiot, man.
How can fiber be healthy if we can't even digest it?
That's a good one, okay.
Well, one of the main reasons that it is healthy is because we can't digest it.
Okay, you just make a claim. Let's see how you underpin it.
Here's how the different types of fiber affect your body. There are 4 different types: soluble, insoluble, fermentable, and non-fermentable. Soluble fibers are called soluble because they're soluble in water and they absorb water. They can slow down digestion and they can help in lowering your cholesterol.
Oh, well, those are 2 really good reasons not to eat it then. Okay. See how people imply high cholesterol is unhealthy? They're implying this. What proves it? 0. Zilch. Nothing. Associations of people with mixed metabolic contexts having high cholesterol than having diseases. Who gives a fuck about that? So far from science, it's undescribable. Okay, that's done. Cholesterol, again, required for synthesizing vitamin D, required for cell membranes, required for your steroid hormones like testosterone. Okay. It's an antioxidant. You like those, don't you? You always talk about antioxidants, don't you? Okay. Fucking idiot. Yeah, slows down digestion. Again, it's about a 30% enzymatic anti-nutrient. Blocks enzymatic nutrient absorption. You get less of your nutrition when you have fiber in the enteric system. Okay. Two good reasons not to eat it.
Create a gel around the insides or the lumen of your intestines and help with gut barrier function. Insoluble fibers don't dissolve in water and they mainly add bulk to your stool.
Yes, they make you shit more because it's more waste product.
They help prevent constipation.
False. In the best study, it's actually quite the opposite. Look up Paul Mason on fiber, buddy.
And they're also associated with decreased
Okay, shut up. We don't care about that.
risk of type 2 diabetes and
Fucking idiot.
other metabolic disorders. Fermentable fibers, of which most soluble fibers are, can get broken down by your gut microbiome, which produces short-chain fatty acids.
Yep, they produce some butyrate in a very small portion, and some of it can get absorbed. What is one of the main ketone bodies, Jacob? Beta-hydroxybutyrate. What's in butter? Butyrate. That's what you should actually be eating.
These fatty acids can be used for fuel by your colon cells, and they might also help improve mental health and reduce risk of cancer.
They might not. Risk, again, associations. It's actually what he means. Just, my God.
They also decrease the pH of your colon, which can help with gut health. Non-fermentable fibers, which most insoluble fibers are, don't get broken down by your gut microbiome, but they help bind harmful substances and remove them from your body.
Like cholesterol, right? Like beta-glucan binding to cholesterol. That's good, right?
So even though we ourselves can't fully digest fiber, it is still beneficial for our health for a number of different reasons.
Wow, your reasons were shit.
If you're cutting it out, you are not only likely doing it
So you could not. Likely is not a certain term, is it?
disservice to your health, you're also just missing out on tons of food and tons of variety that you might enjoy.
Variety is not indicated for any species, so it seems.
How can
We have small variations like pastoral genes, maybe eat more seafood. But, 80% of your diet should at least be red meat, the flesh and fat of it.
Fiber be healthy if we...
Shit video, already explained why. Yep, none of us are idiots, actually. We would never think that means anything.
Look at that. Animal-based pasta with 0 grain.
I'm going to agree with Jacob here, I assume.
This is what I eat instead of pasta on an animal-based diet.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure squash is not an animal. Let me know in the comments if I'm
I don't know, man. I'm not so sure myself anymore.
just confused or something.
Could be.
Look at that.
Yeah, no, that's Paul's an idiot too. Yes, fucking imbecile. And by the way, gluconeogenesis is always active within a 10% margin of rate, no matter what you eat, buddy. So you are going through gluconeogenesis while filming this video, as am I. No matter what you do, you will. It is constantly chronically active, and it's actually indicated to do that. Next. Yes, glucose is important for your balls, for your brain. Yep. In fact, your balls even need fructose, actually. So does your brain. Very, very small amount. Does that mean we should be eating fructose? Nope, not at all. The entire point is that when you elevate your blood sugar, you cause glycation. That's the whole issue with it, which is why you should let your body produce the perfect amount that you need. Because gluconeogenesis is demand-driven. Just such a dumbass. Real, like, what do you mean a whole food group isn't essential? There's fucking idiots on this page, man. It's hard. It's hard to deal with. Yes, carbs aren't essential. Open any physiology textbook. Even the ADA says they are not essential. Because they aren't. They need to then teach you about gluconeogenesis if you actually think this. Yep, this is a horrible argument. Oats are bad for many other reasons. Yep, again, this guy is actually a really, really dumb young man, isn't he? Yep. And your body still produces them no matter what you eat, by the way, buddy. Again, that's already been proven. Yep, glucose is important at the proper level. You want the proper amount. You don't want to cause glycation. And you don't want to eat substrates that are high in deuterium that, when oxidized, hurt the nanomotors of your mitochondria. Okay. Yep, another imbecile. Yep. Yep, associative studies are not why seed oils are not probably good for you. Yep, again, vitamin C and glucose compete for the GLUT4 transporter. Glutathione is upregulated on carnivore, which recycles vitamin C. Again, we already have hydrolyzed proteins in the diet when we eat carnivore. Blah, blah, blah. We do not need much vitamin C dietarily on carnivore. That's already been proven. Who even cares about vitamin C? Its main use is collagen synthesis, which you're already eating. You're already eating hydroxyproline, hydroxylysine. You don't really need much of it, and evidently you don't. Hence, we have examples of people who've been eating only raw meat for 14 years, essentially, with very few exceptions. Okay, and they look in great health. Okay. Oh, he's learning. Yep. That's correct. And it's referring to a closed system. Alright, that's all I can take from this man, which I am certainly open to have a conversation live with about many things. He's already dodged that. He said his mentor won't let him. Also, I'm happy to talk to Hair Cafe on live. I'm happy to do other those things. Yep, I'm happy to talk to Clavicular on live. Androgenic. Whoever wants to talk live, I'm down. Just say the word. This guy is someone who does not understand association cannot establish causation. I don't know how. He doesn't understand that the actual micronutrients should be a little more important than these unfounded associations. He doesn't understand deuterium. He doesn't understand the Randall cycle. He doesn't understand a lot of things. He still doesn't understand that a food that doesn't have anything you need, full of potent plant toxins, he still thinks that's a net benefit. He still is basing the pros of fiber on associations instead of the best clinical evidence we have, which shows that it's shit for you. Again, every single person in the no fiber group cured all of their issues. All in all. That's very clinically significant, though the sample size is small. That's pretty significant. You have a group of people with issues. The high fiber group gets the issues worse. The same fiber remains. The group without any fiber cures everything. That's pretty significant if you ask me. It's not proof, but if you're going to make an inference about fiber, I'd probably look at that rather than people who eat more fiber, according to those people not actually measured, have a 10% relative risk of this. Oh, okay, relative risk, which normally means the absolute risk is nothing. That's all I have for Jacob. I like just letting out my toxicity on him, but he was very wrong on a lot. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Bye.